dum dum bum, dee dum dum bum, dee dum dum bum, dee dum bum.
My name is Joey Blake. I'm a music teacher and professor of music. I was born in California, in the United States. I lived there for most of my life. And now I live in Boston because I teach at Berklee College of Music. And I've been coming to Rwanda for 8 years. I came the first time with a group called Musicians Without Borders. And I met Popo that first trip. And so when Popo got ready to start the school, he asked me to come and help him. So I've been coming for 8 years now. The school moved from Nyundo to Muhanga, and we're still trying to teach people to rebrand and to call it the Rwanda School of Arts and Music instead of Nyundo School. I remember when I first started coming, most of the live bands that I saw were from Burundi or from Congo, or from somewhere else outside of Rwanda. But now, all of that has changed, you know, and lots of rising young artists, and so we just need to install more variety of style and delivery, so that's coming. A lot of what happens is artists become very, very strong and supported in the place where they start, where they come from. Because of that growth and that building of fan base, they become visible to outside promoters and festival curators and different kinds of things like that. So some of that is still in the works. Having more festivals in Rwanda is going to also help, because when you have strong international music festivals that bring artists in from outside, then they get a chance to see what's here, and then they invite them to come there. Since the pandemic hit the world, a lot of festivals have been canceled for the last 2 years. So they're very slowly coming back, and so it's always been a struggle to get financial and logistical support for the KigaliUp festival, and so Popo's been struggling quite a few years to keep it going, you know. And it's interesting because he had a very, very successful music touring career, and he decided to stop doing that to come back here so that he could bring awareness to the local musicians and also preserve the indigenous music here, you know. So what's really necessary is just people need to invest in their own culture, monetarily, physically, by showing up and supporting the artists in their endeavor, making it possible for young artists to make a living because they pay them decently for what they do. You know, music always tends to be the thing that everybody wants to pay just a little less for. They pay for even a wedding. They pay for the wedding gown, they pay for the room, they pay for all the food, and then they want to get a really small budget for the band. And it's not a complaint, it's just a fact. So so it makes it hard for musicians to make a living. And here in Rwanda, the economy is such that it's probably even a little harder. So you have a lot of the young artists. We have at least 3 graduate artists who decided not to stay here. Some are in Kenya, you know, some are in Bujumbura, some are in Dubai, you know what I mean? And so what ends up is you end up losing you lose your jewels to some other country because they can't get the support they need at home. And so that's my thing, is that there needs to be more support, and people need to really support them. A lot of people think the music industry is the one singing and is seen on the video or is heard on the radio. That's one piece of it. The artists who actually record their music and then release it, and then you enjoy it. But there's an engineer who has to record that music, right? There's a mastering engineer that has to master that before they give it to the public. There's commercials that have music. There's TV shows that have music, news shows. There's movies. There's all different ways that you can make a living as a musician. You can write songs and place them with big artists in other places. So understanding that is part of the game, and understanding how to diversify what you do, you know. And even someone who goes to school for music that learns engineering is the person who can, for instance, edit this video so that it's ready to put on the TV. Somebody has to do that. Somebody has to edit the audio and the visuals. So there's a lot entailed in the music industry. Then there's business people, there's promoters, there's managers, there's all of these different kinds of things. PR. It's a specialized thing to do PR for artists, and versus a product. Deciding to be an artist is a big endeavor, and it requires some dedication that isn't present in a lot of other industries. So, you know, when I teach my classes at Berklee, when they first come into the class at the beginning of the semester, I asked them why they came to Berklee. And I asked them, I said, did you come to Berklee because you're a musician and you just have to do it? Or did you come to Berklee because you want to get famous? And I tell them, if you wanted to get famous, there's cheaper schools to go to. You can go to another school. Because the truth is, as an artist, if you're not willing to do it and not get paid for it, then you're never probably going to get good enough to get paid for it, because you won't put the time in. That's required to get that special, that you touch people with your art, is the truth. And that's with visual arts, it's with sculpture, it's with architecture, it's with everything. There has to be a passion, you know. I sing because it's air for me. It's the way I breathe, and it's, you know, and I also understand the community aspect of being an artist. You know, as an artist, you do your art for other people, but not to please them. It's just to share the things that you have to say, and hopefully they resonate with what you're saying, and they get some kind of fulfillment. one of the things that I remember as a child growing up when I listened to music, you know, 'cause my parents loved music, so they played music in the house all the time. So after a while, I know exactly who the singer was because I recognized their voice and the sound of their voice, you know, and the way they sang, you know. And there's a special quality about that. So even now, if you listen to the radio and you hear a Marvin Gaye song, you know it's Marvin Gaye because you hear his voice. You know it's Stevie Wonder, you know it's Aretha Franklin, you know it's Beyonce, you know it's whatever. And there's a tendency with popular music in Africa to use a lot of what they call auto-tune, which makes your voice sound kind of a little mechanical and whatever. So most people don't recognize the singers. They recognize the songs and the groove. And that's probably the biggest reason why the artists here haven't gotten as big as they could, because they don't touch people. You can't touch people with an electronic sound as you can with a human sound. The sound of the human voice is the thing that moves people to feel things. And so my biggest advice is that more of the younger artists that are going to come now realize that their voice is enough. They don't have to add electronics to it.